What is going on, everyone? My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, and we find ourselves out here today in Logandale, Nevada. It is early morning. It is very calm and quiet and quite awesome, actually. Temperature's nice. I think it's probably closing in on 60, 63 at this point. And we've got our rear steer Capra out here that I've done a lot of modifications to. Vanquish 3-gear transmission, Vanquish axles, and then including these new custom cut and shut BFG crawlers. These are Proline G8 compound, and I had someone convert them into 2.2s that are 5.25 tall. So not a huge 2.2, but I think they fit this car just perfect. I might need to bump the wheelbase just a little bit, but wheeling around this morning, this is my first time out with these tires, and they're feeling really good. It's not upsetting the car, making it too top heavy so far or anything like that. I've been able to pull off some really cool lines. Out here in Logandale, there's so many awesome little cracks and rocks and things to play on that you can really test out a car's ability pretty quickly. Like on this one, we're all side hill and off camber and weird. And we're just gonna see how we do. So, funny story, the reason I'm in Logandale today is because there's an RC competition this weekend. And it's on Sunday, and I drove out here and got out here by 7:45 on Saturday. So, I was a day off. And I'm not a morning person. Also, it's like an hour and a half drive, so I got up nice and early to make that 7:45 driver's meeting, and it's not till tomorrow. I convinced the wife to let me go, told her I'd be back by a certain time, had a good agreement going, everything's all good. And then when I got out here, I was like, that's weird. I don't see anybody's vehicles. I don't see any cones on the rocks. I don't think I'm in the right spot. And then I checked Facebook. Oh no. And it was not today. Here's one of the many lines that make Logandale awesome. I had no intentions of going this way, but as I was climbing up the side of the hill, following the car, I saw just a little bit of light poking through this little arch, cave, tunnel, whatever we want to call it. So, good steep climb, a little bit off camber on our way up in here. Just gotta get that front end hooked in there. We got it. Now work the rear. Push on the rear. Get back on the wall. Oh. You can really hear when this Hobbywing gets mad, which is good. I need my car to communicate when it's bound up. And then, once we're in here, get our front end up. Work our tires. It's really slick in these little caves, it always is. I can't see where I'm going either. Let's jump around up top. Okay. Front dig. No, I need a 4-wheel. That's it. That's it. Come on, car. Got the hook. Front tires up and over. Get the cage clear. That last tire up. Woo! Bit of a squeeze there. Up and out of that. That was awesome. And if you guys didn't know, if we take a look around, Logandale has a few rocks to play on. Made it to the top of this little hill, and there's kind of just a drop off up at the top. We're gonna work our way along this short cliff edge. Well, I wouldn't quite call it a cliff, but In scale terms it is. Oh shit, oh shit, 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 shit. I think she's gonna be all right. Well, sure enough, car's all right. Still driving. Servos are both working, which is good. I will say that Spectrum servo on the rear steer has been on there for a while, and it's taken some hard hits. I can't remember which part number that is. It's a 6280. That one's been a pretty good servo for me. It's pretty zippy, it's pretty quick, strong enough for the rear. I've been pretty happy with the higher end Spectrum servos. I've also got the, I don't remember what it is, 6250 as the shift servo for the dig. And it's overkill for a servo in there, but it's fast, so it makes my dig, engage, and disengage really easy, and it works really well. It's also high torque, but it is overkill for the shift servo. So if you've got a good servo laying around that you're not using, and you have a dig unit, try it in there. Typically I buy the cheap ones and just run those as shift servos. Got that UC Fab flat skid, just getting us the clearance we need to get over that. All right, here we go. Found ourselves a fun little water cutout crack, waterfall, I don't know. Looks like a fun technical line though. So it starts off pretty mellow, and we start getting into rocks that have fallen down on the bottom, and we got to get balanced up on those to get our line right. Start cruising into the shade. Gotta let that front come up. There she goes. Ooh, might have gone a little too far on the front. Burn it back. This is like the width of my car, which are always really challenging. And these walls are really steep too. Anytime the crack is steeper, it's more difficult. That Savox 1212 fighting really hard to keep those tires where I want them. Uh-oh. Okay, Spectrum brought us back. Just fighting bushes. You guys know me and my history with bushes. I'm not a fan. Whew, that's why we buy metal axles. All right, that was a little more challenging than I expected. This is gonna be a theme on this one, is just battling these bushes. And this one more boulder hopping than crack climbing, but it's all part of the experience on this one. Sliding that door panel right around. Can't quite crab crawl yet. I'll balance it back out, 4-wheel drive. We'll get this front up on the wall, and then we'll rotate into it. Yes. I love me some rear steer. There we go. Balanced. This is really the obstacles I wanted to play on. First part was just bonus. And that was fairly easy. I guess don't discount the dirt. Let's get my rears worked down. I need to get our fronts up. And I'm just gonna fall inside that lip on that driver front. I think I might try and catch it with the rear. Because the rears get pinched in real hard like that, it'll flip the car. See? It's trying to pull the front end over. So the rears aren't climbing, they're going deeper in the crack. That's a good line. And then bring the rear back. Oh, don't fall in. Keep her going. Man, I put 6mm hub spacers on this last night, and if I wouldn't have done that, it might have made things a little easier or impossible. It's hard to say. Yeah, because if it's narrower, it's going to hit a steeper angle on the way through there. But since it was the exact width that it is, I really struggled with fitting it at all. So it's hard to say if width was good or bad there. Watch this loose rock up top. Swing around with the fronts. Get up on top. There we go. We're gonna turn out of this guy. I think the old Capra did pretty good. She fought through. It was a pretty tough spot and only took very minor reverses to just kind of course correct. Should we go for the bonus line up on the left? It's looking like some fun. Okay, here we go. Try not to go too steep on that driver front. Ah, we lost traction. Yep, it's getting too steep on that driver front. Damn. We're gonna try another alternate. Once I get that rear planted above this rock, I'm gonna burn it front end down. Ooh, she's lifting tire. Great demonstration right there of how rear steer can help force a lifted tire back onto the ground. Changes the pressure on the suspension and the links. Yeah, we're in trouble here. Front driver is way up in the air. The only thing holding us up is the cage right here. Now our bead lock, we're in real trouble. All of a sudden it just lined up and started going up. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Woo! I did not think I was gonna pull out of that. I thought I was gonna have to fully reset. And then all of a sudden it just hooked up and booked. Nice. That was a tough line. Struggling to see the line on that one for sure. All right, I jumped out of that canyon where I was exploring new territory over there, and coming over to check out this terrain, and this is where they held Scale Nationals 2019/2020. or was it 2021? I don't remember. I think they held it in March of 21, but it was the 2020 event because COVID. These are all the rocks that they were on. I don't know what the courses were though. I would like to try and run them. I do have my class 2 with me, but I think these were just class 1 courses in this area. So I'm not real sure. I did come out for that event and I just bought a Marlin, and I thought like people would be wheeling around just for fun and whatnot, and no, nobody was driving outside of the competition. So can't say I blame them. You don't want to go break your truck that you're competing at nationals with. But there's also like peak mask stuff and yeah, all that fun jazz. So this is the area though. This is over in Logandale where they held scale nats. Just brought the Capra over here because it is some cool terrain. And so trying to do some weird stuff like this drop. I think she's gonna pull it off though. Whew. A little throttle out, but made it happen. These are always fun, just these off camber corners that drop you down into a pocket. Trying to find the perfect line to get the truck turned and keep the truck upright. It's always a challenge. There she goes. I mean, that thing is sideways right here. Another small change I've made to this car that I've never, well, I guess I did one run. I put portal cover weights on this. These are the hot racing ones. They're not huge. They're not crazy heavy, but I just wanted a little bit more weight up in the front. I've also got D's Company shock bands on there. You guys have probably noticed these. These aren't limiting straps, they're elastic. And so the car still flexes and can have its full range of motion, but on a steep climb, these elastic bands hold the nose down, similar to rubber bands, Penn Spring Mod and whatnot. But I like these a lot. So thanks Dustin, those are pretty cool. It's a local dude to Utah who is making those. So if you guys are interested, find D's Company on Instagram. They've been working well on my rigs. I've got them on 2 or 3 now. Now this area I know for certain was part of the class 1 course. I think there was a gate right here that was a down, I think. And then over here there was a bonus and another gate or something. I don't remember exactly, but I know for sure there was like 3 gates in here. I saw it in Harley's video of scale nats. I'll have to go back and watch it. But they're all right in here somewhere. And I was here while they were running courses and stuff, and I don't know, I just wasn't memorizing exactly where the gates were while I was out there. I was looking at rigs and watching people try and avoid hitting cones. It's always fun. So there's a pretty good sized little pocket in here. I wonder if we can drive down that in the Capra. But so far guys, these cut and shut tires I've been really happy with. The performance compared to my Pitbull Braven tires, I'm getting more traction, but as far as like the center of gravity of the car, I think it's just as good as the Bravens, but I'm getting more traction, and I prefer the Proline G8 compound for sure. I don't have anything bad to say about the Alien compound from Pitbull, just other than it doesn't quite have the grip that the G8 does. And I saw somebody the other day drop a comment saying that Proline's G8 compound's outdated. Well, it works really good where I'm at, so I really like it. I don't want it to go away at all. In fact, I think Predator, in most cases, a G8 is better than a Predator. The only way Predator is really better is that the tires break in faster. But depending on the temperature where you're at, and down here it gets real hot, it can turn those Predators into just like a little bit gooey, basically. Which sounds great, but then they just fold over, the lugs don't fight as hard for traction. I think G8 is the way to go. That's been my experience on my terrain. I love the way this car just creeps around off these ledges and stuff. It just eats it up, man. I'm throwing it at like crazy lines all the time, and it just cruises over them. Last obstacle, I'm gonna leave you guys after this one. Got an invite to go wheel some buddies, and so I'm going to go crawl some friends because I was anticipating competing today, but that didn't happen. So, gonna take off. Hope you guys enjoyed the footage of the Capra out here in Logandale. Epic place. If you guys are ever in Vegas and brought your RCs with you, Logandale's not far from Vegas. I think an hour or so, something like that. Definitely worth the trip, especially if you've never been out on terrain like this. And you know, there's a couple rooms to stay in Vegas, other things to do. And if Vegas isn't your style, check out Southern Utah. It's about an hour and a half from Logandale, but you don't have to go there. You've got plenty of stuff to drive on in Southern Utah. Okay guys, hit the links down below. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.